When they do these things that's so obvious and still try to do this gaslighting, as as a target individual, I utilize that, and it's just super obvious. And I'd make these videos because these perps around you partaking in these manipulations and the theatrics and the gaslighting to get you to accept the manipulation is becoming too comical. And so for me, I'm like, okay, it's disturbing what I just experienced, but it's just getting too obvious that it doesn't even make sense. And for example, this what you're seeing here, I know if I don't call it out, you won't even notice. You see just two individuals playing pool, and you see this young woman with this man playing pool. I was watching that, and I was getting sexual stimulation that they forced me to have toward the young woman. Now, listen, I know those stimulation are falsified, but it's toward this young adult woman. It's okay. I've looked at a young adult woman in the past, but in my life that and felt sexual stimulation. Not maybe not to this intense states, but it's not something that's gonna torment me. This is a falsified stimulation, but it's toward an adult woman, and it's okay. I'm not gonna lose my mind and just get mad about it in a tormenting way. They do that, I could feel the intensity, and I know it's towards them doing that. But one thing they always do, when they force you to have these intense feelings, usually there's a purpose. The purpose is at some point there's gonna be a child, and so they stimulate me in this way. They like to stimulate the target individual, but for me, they stimulate me in advance, so that when a child is around, the stimulation they force you to have toward whoever they were making you have the sexual stimulation toward before is now aimed toward a child. They have these tactics, and then they use these perps, these losers, these trash who have no shame. Their job is to get you to accept these things. I don't accept. I don't identify. I accept the reality of what's happening. I'm being manipulated. And this is super obvious. It's not even. It's just in this intense feelings towards this young woman. Okay, not too crazy. And then in the background, do you see in all the way in the background? You see these people walking. There's a small, like somebody's holding like a small little person, which look like a little girl, a little baby girl, but you couldn't even notice that. You just see, like you can see the people walk behind, but you don't. You have to really pay attention in the background to see that this is like a little girl, a little baby being held. These perps want me to think that I'm not being manipulated because the stimulation I was talking about all along was because of that. Because at some point, there's going to be people carrying their little girl, and they wanted me to get this sexual stimulation in advance so they can aim in the background of all the way there. They do that all the time. It's like almost like a way to know that you're going to be manipulating the degrading way. They sexual stimulate you, and then have you have the sexual stimulation aimed toward children. With me, they do that in advance. And then they have these gaslighting retards who have no shame. Some of the things they do to deflect, like, oh, you're registered, as in, I'm going to be registered in a way that is like a predator type. For example, they tell me they're going to have children, pretend they're getting raped. And that's how I'm going to be registered. Children will act like they're getting raped. And these people are the same people who want me to think that what I just experienced, as obvious as it is not these manipulations that they obviously do to people. But it's just them observing the natural experiences that I'm experiencing as a target individual. The same people who are pretending they can. No, let me just say this again. The same people who are guiding a child or children, I think is multiple, to pretend they're getting raped. trash are so disturbing, disgusting, because let me just repeat what I just said. They will stimulate me, make me have sexual arousals toward this young woman intensely. Because in the background over there, these people walking, one of them is carrying a young little girl, like a little baby girl, but that you couldn't even notice unless I'm really saying that, calling that out. And I know that because they made me see that little baby somehow, because they have this ability to make you see things that they want you to see, and they stimulated me. Matter of fact, actually, they just aimed the stimulation they would make me have toward that young woman to be aimed toward that child. These trash are so disturbing, it's disgusting. And then act these ways of like they're the protectors of children. You understand how disgusting these trash are? This is the nasty shit that I deal with and I have to see. And that's what I'm saying. Like, imagine you see these perps who do these things to you, and they in your face pretending that they want you to look at them as the protector of children. You understand what it takes to not just want to slash out toward this shit? To see these trash who are here forcing people to get sexual arousal toward children and then act like they're protecting children. And then present themselves in front of you as if I shouldn't think that I'm being manipulated, as obvious as this is. You understand the trashiness that these perps are? And the entitlement that they think that I shouldn't look at them as the people that are doing this because they're just acting in a certain way? And you understand what it means that they are to me. I'm not trying to be threatening, but you understand, if I was a different type of target individual, a little bit more on the aggressive side, and I saw this shit presenting themselves in this fashion, this perps will, one of them, there'll be some death. Somebody will die. Somebody will die. As I'm saying that, do you know what these perps are saying? I'm hearing children, these retards, who can act in this thing in front of me, tell me they baited me. As in they framed me, but they baited me. This retard that you've seen videos and pictures of. To negate the obvious thing that they're doing right now. We're forcing sexual stimulation toward this young woman so that later on, when this people walking behind in the background that you can barely see, that's holding a child over there, little girl somewhere that you can barely see. Those stimulation aim toward these little girls, and they're like, oh, I little girls. This trash I will never allow this slow life to live this fantasy. I'm supposed to think that I'm not being manipulated, by the way. I had such intense stimulations and manipulation of literally manipulating my libido so intensely that I think there was some kind of leakage. And then I hear these fucking retards try to deflect the obviousness of what they just did. Tell me how I met with these clowns of these child retards to negate the obvious manipulation that they made me have. They have these games of thinking that they can deflect after they do these manipulations and confuse me and maybe disorient me enough that maybe when I see them, I forget that these people are this is what they do. That the rage I should have for this trash, doing these things, forcing people to have sexual stimulation in this nature, should not be felt. Target individual, stay strong and understand that this trash have no shame. They're manipulating the brain in degrading, obvious ways, by the way, and then try to make you accepting of this. Right now, I heard somebody say it's abuse, try to make me think of me as a kid, to try to make me accepting of this obvious manipulation.